When we talk about health, that is a very complex subject. I cannot give you a recipe for the way that we can bring health to this subject. I cannot give you a solution for this problem. As an artist, I can only expose this problem. I can only open this scar and show. I cannot cure. There's no way that it is in the hand of one individual to do that. That's a collective scar, and is a collective process of healing that has to be done. We are all connected.
So the concept of hearts came about in February 2016 when Mark Constantine, our new president and CEO, joined RMHF. He came in with an idea of using art as an agent of change. And when he did, I will not lie, everyone thought that it was the most insane, absurd idea ever.
Last year when we were talking about developing the Hearts program, one of the things that came up was a question of, why would you spend money on art when you could be using the same dollars to do direct investment in the community or to make grants to organizations that help people in need? And I think one of the things that we've learned is that art can be a force multiplier to help us raise awareness of these issues that we wouldn't necessarily be able to do just through traditional grant making.
Well, my project has to do with making portraits of Latino immigrants in a way that they see themselves in the future. And it's the best future that they can think of. I start with something basic as just like lines and doodles and scribbles. And then it's a whole creative effort of turning that into a portrait of a person and to kind of make it real, kind of make it a reality, which is what it's all about.
We know there's groups and individuals and populations out there that we're not in dialogue with. And it's not really through any fault of our own. It's just there's so many hours in the day. There's only so many people that we have here on staff. But we can use the Hearts program to use these innovative, time-tested, powerful mediums like film, like spoken word, like sculpture, to really cut through the clutter and the noise and connect with people.
Because of the high prices, I don't want to go to the market.
The reputation of high prices.
The reputation of what is once considered deprived communities that prices were jacked.
Make it a priority and put it in place what we need here. We need to have a fresh food place here on this side and north side. We can make it a priority.
For those people who don't have a lot of mobility, they have to rely on public transportation to get to those places. And in this neighborhood here, you have to go to Kroger.
How should you not know where to go for how to start a garden even? The city also has a map of vacant lots that you could just say, hey, I want to start a garden, and they'll look here, here's a lot for you. So that's also all throughout the city. So they both have the gardens that they've established, and they have funds to help you, but they also have
When I first got the idea, I was living in a neighborhood in Richmond. One of our neighbors was killed in the alley behind my little brother's house. You kind of imagine, like, wow, we're gonna come together as a neighborhood. We're gonna talk about this, and yet, that just doesn't actually happen. If there was some thing that everybody owned in common that kind of like started the conversation, invited people to communicate with each other. People spending time outside of their house on the street, engaged in life in the place that they are.
Richmond Memorial Health Foundation's mission is fostering an equitable and healthy Richmond region. However, before we can create that region, we must first imagine it.
When you talk about an image of health, people might think of a doctor or an apple or someone jogging, but when you ask them what does health equity look like, it's really almost a blank canvas. And what these artists are allowing us as an organization to do is to help paint that canvas, to let people know this is what health equity looks like.
The goal is to create a conversation about how people's life expectancies and health and well-being can be dramatically different from neighborhood to neighborhood, even just thinking about how close in proximity people live to each other and how much that can be really different.
I think it's a unique time in Richmond to use art to help elevate the conversation about health equity, to get people talking, to bring in new community partners to say, you know, how can we not just talk about this issue, but how can we actually start committing real resources like RMHF is doing, and to show other organizations that this is the path that we've taken, and we think that we can learn from you and you can learn from us.